Riviello from the New York Animal Rights Alliance America here at a candlelight vigil at the corner of 79th and 5th, right where I can see Mayor Bloomberg's residence, where he eats, sleeps, watches TV, while the cats and dogs of New York City are slaughtered every single day. Hundreds of cats and dogs. How much more can we take? This is one of them. Rocky Earl. This baby was adopted by a family. They took him home into their home. They decided they were moving and brought him back into the ACC, and before any of us could note that he got back in there, they killed him before the 3-day hold. Rocky Earl, a beautiful blue nose, sleeping with a baby. Here he is on my t-shirt. Thank you, Dawn, for this t-shirt. I'll never forget this gentle, sweet baby that was killed at the hands of the ACC illegally. This is what our bureaucrats are doing to cats and dogs in America. When is it going to end? November 12th, we have a national protest against kill pounds in America. New York, the king of killing cats and dogs. When will we stand up and rise up against this killing of cats and dogs, this tragedy in America? Rest in peace, Rocky Earl.
New York Animal Rights Alliance America has joined tonight in honor of Louie. He was a 10-month-old boxer puppy who had rescue on the way when, for no reason, NY-ACC murdered him. He was killed with rescue coming on the way. This dog should be alive right now in a happy home. He should be lying on a comfy bed, loved by humans who love pit bulls like me. My name is Sidoni. I've been fighting for these cats and dogs 33 years. I hope that the younger people will follow my example. Please, don't give up the fight, because these poor cats and dogs need us, and they need you very much. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Cindy, and I'm here on behalf of Helena and Laura. This is Laura's story. Helena's profile has a picture of an angel. That was Laura. And Laura was murdered for no reason at the New York ACC. She was told by a woman working on Laura's page on April 4th and April 5th, 2011, that Laura would be safe. The ACC knew there were many people working on Laura on those days. Helena and Josephine from Pet Finders were just two people working to save Laura. Unfortunately, the ACC didn't care about that, and at 9 a.m. on April 5th, 2011, she was murdered. We were not informed until approximately 3 p.m. on 4/5 that Laura was euthanized, in my words, murdered by those bastards. We were told this by a volunteer who works there. My point is, do not believe anyone at the shelter, the ACC. They lie. Go early there. They are never safe, these animals. This is Laura. This is the dog that Helena was trying to save and was supposed to be safe, and the New York ACC went and murdered this beautiful, precious puppy. This has to stop. Rest in peace, Laura. There is no consolation, no reasoning. They extinguished your beauty and your life. You're gone forever. This little brittle bundle of love was surrendered to the shelter as a stray on March 29th, 2011. The shelter named her Laura, and the medical staff estimated that she was about a year old, and she only weighed 36 pounds. Such a tiny little girl. Laura was like a little clown with the photographer, hiding her little face, then popping it out again. Again, Laura was murdered by the ACC on April 5th, 2011. Please, please don't let this happen to another animal.
This is Tracy, I'm Thorin. Please, stop unjustly killing animals in New York City. There is another way. There's options to this. Spaying and neutering, we could subsidize that. Please, there's too many of these deaths, and obviously enough people are paying attention that it needs to change. Please listen to the people and stop killing animals unnecessarily in New York City. Tarzan, we miss you, buddy.
Hello, my name is Billy. This dog, Curtis, was killed at the ACC. He's no longer with us. He unfortunately was not one of the dogs that was saved. ACC, stop killing dogs and cats. Fix them, neuter them, spay them. That's what we have to do. And find them a good home. Post it on the internet and let people come and adopt them.
Hi, my name is Marilyn. This was a loving creature, sentient being, killed, executed. This is immoral, it's irresponsible, and it's got to stop. We cannot be killing healthy companion pets. This is totally unacceptable. A lot of people don't know what's going on in the shelter. They are not properly taking care of animals. Animals are actually dying that are supposed to be taken care of there. Killing these animals is not a solution. People need to know what is going on behind closed doors. A lot of people don't even know we have a kill shelter. Now, it's being taken over by the ASPCA, who has lots of money. They can actually have a special fund, a specific fund to raise money to make awareness about this. They can get another space that's in a more convenient location, have these dogs shown. You cannot kill healthy animals. This is not acceptable. This is not going to help. We cannot help dogs in plastic bags as business as usual. We need to have a spay and neuter program funded by the ASPCA, and the richest mayor on the face of this earth can make a new model that can be followed by states around this country. Also, all the animals there, the poor pit bulls, are having a bad reputation, and there needs to be an education and outreach.
Stop killing dogs and cats! New York ACC!
I'm a resident of New York City. This was Paul, a male pit bull terrier mix, and he was at the Animal Care and Control of New York City. He survived and got out, but he was so sick there that he died very shortly thereafter because of the disgusting, dirty conditions in our New York shelter system. My hometown is Spokane, Washington, and we have a big shelter there. Spokane is minuscule in comparison to New York City and all the millions and millions of people who live here. And we only have 2 shelters between all 5 boroughs, which is insane to me. And we need shelters in all boroughs, which is Bronx and Queens, or otherwise 6-month-old pit bulls like Paul are going to continue to keep dying. Perfectly good companion pets dying in multiple numbers every single day. We need reform, and we're asking for it now.
Hello, my name is Fintan Quell and I'm from Dublin, Ireland, and I live in New York City. And this dog here is called Betty, and she was killed at approximately 8 months old, and she was just a girl, and she died because she caught a cold, and I think Bloomberg got to wake up and just...
Bloomberg, quit! Out of office now!
Very upset. Tell the story about
No, but it's also that she chose cats because we're killing as many cats or more cats.
Hi, my name is Phyllis. Hi, I'm Rachel.
Hi, I'm Margo.
We're here representing the dogs that have been murdered at the ACC, but I'm speaking through John, who was murdered at the Manhattan ACC. They say they kill for space. If that's so, why aren't they building the shelters in the Bronx and Queens?
This is Honey. She was one of the first dogs I noticed. It really just blew my mind that healthy dogs and cats are being killed every day in the city. And I think a dog like Honey would still be alive and would in fact be in a home if we had shelters in Queens and the Bronx where she could have stayed until she could have been adopted, rather than killed after being in the shelter for a few days.
Mayor Bloomberg and the council is not building shelters in Queens and the Bronx, and we need them desperately. We need the killing to end.
I'm Patricia Harrington, and I'd like to talk to you a little bit about Simply. Simply came into the Manhattan shelter, and she was put down as 4 months old and weighing 17 pounds. She came in on July 22nd. Simply was very thin when she came in, and she really wasn't eating well, but nobody really took the time to look at her and see what was wrong. Why wasn't she eating? Was there a problem? She was there about a week and a half before she was rescued. At the time of her rescue, transport was set up, and she was to go up to Palmview Kennels to Bob and Lynn, who were going to nurse her back to health, help her to gain weight, and train her. Unfortunately, she was so bad that by the time she got there, she had completely stopped eating. Lynn gave her IV fluids, did everything she could to help her. She brought her to the vet the very next day. Her blood levels were so abnormal. This poor baby was in kidney failure. She should never have been allowed to go on a transport. She should have been rushed immediately to emergency services so that she could be treated. She was pulled by a rescue who should have been apprised of the true extent of her illness and condition. If she had been, she might be alive today, because that rescue would have spared no expense to get her the needed treatment. And that's Simply's story. Rest in peace, Simply.
Mayor Bloomberg, Julie Bank, you need to go!
This is Lady Jane.
My name is Mike Connell. Like this, the Clover that have been killed, and we mourn our loss. They should build Queens and Bronx shelters to prevent this from happening again. So.
Hi, John Wortman here. We're here at Mayor Bloomberg's residence. I think it's an absolute disgrace that the richest city in the country and the richest country in the world can't afford to build the shelters in Queens and the Bronx. They need to build those shelters. Because this is the result. When those shelters aren't there, this is the result. I think it's an absolute disgrace. It's an outrage. This needs to change. They need to not pass this law that they're going to pass. That's an outrage also. They need to go back to what they were going to do before, which is a shelter in all boroughs for all people that have access to. Now, we will unseat any politician that signs on to this rigged bill. Rest in peace, Princess. Rest in peace.
0655 is a death sentence to our dogs and cats! in New York City! New York City, you can do better than this!
Save our cats and dogs!
We actually live in West Haven, and she's our other kid. Be nice. Oh, you guys. What do you guys do?
Animals will never have justice until animals have rights!
Please help us to the space.
Thank you!
Have a good night!
She's so skinny and little. This is Riviello with the New York Animal Rights Alliance America here at the Candlelight Vigil on September 17th to memorialize a few of the dogs and cats slaughtered by the New York Animal Care and Control System here in New York City under the auspices of the Department of Health, Mayor Bloomberg, Christine Quinn, and the entire City Council, who have the arrogance to pass Bill 0655, in which they will legislate a victory they had in court that they will not build pounds, shelters in Queens and the Bronx. This means, Queens and the Bronx, that you are shafted by the City of New York. Just like we had just last week, a family that the dog got loose, picked up by the police department at 8 p.m. By 2 a.m., that dog was dead. If you own a dog, if you own a cat in Queens or the Bronx, you need to speak up, rise up, get up, and speak out. Please contact me. My phone number is at the end of this video. We will have a national protest against killing cats and dogs in America on November 12th in every state in America. In New York, that will happen at the Queens Receiving Center in Rego Park. This is Riviello reminding you that animals will never have justice until animals have rights. Thank you for joining us, and have a good night.